The Subaru Outback has always had a certain chunky appeal, although the styling of the previous model wasn't, shall we say, to everyone's taste. For 2015 though, Subaru have made substantial changes, not just to the way it looks, but also to the interior and the way it drives. Most obvious is the new look at the front, with the Outback now sharing the hexagonal grille with the rest of the Subaru range, along with more aggressively styled LED headlights. The new Outback is a little wider and longer than before, and its lines are a little more chiselled, particularly the shoulder line that runs the length of the car, while sporting elements have been emphasised, such as the more pronounced roof spoiler and the new rear lights with part LED illumination. The roughy-tufty sill extensions are now black instead of body-coloured, that's a look that we prefer, and there's now a choice of either 17 or 18-inch alloy wheels. The interior of the Outback sees perhaps the most substantial changes, however. Most noticeable is the feeling of space in here. Front seat passengers are now 10mm further apart, shoulder room has increased by 42mm, elbow room by 43 and hip room by 35mm. There's a huge range of adjustment for both seats and steering wheel too, so drivers of all sizes shouldn't have any trouble getting comfortable. Now, Subaru has made much of the use of new higher quality materials, and certainly compared to the old model, this feels like a proper premium interior now. The instruments are now deeply hooded and feature coloured illumination around their outer rim that changes to red when the car detects an obstacle, orange when the auto transmission is in manual mode, or you can choose one of 10 colours for yourself. The new ventilation controls are much more intuitive, and we like the Max AC button that comes in handy on hot days. Not that we get many of those over here, of course. The big news though is the arrival of a new infotainment system. We've been pretty critical of some of the systems used by Subaru in the past, but this one is pretty neat. Its design reminds us of the single sheet of glass look used on high-end plasma TVs, and we particularly like the touch-sensitive buttons down each side. The menus are all easy to get your head around, and if you're a tinkerer, there are all kinds of info screens to play with. There's even a maintenance reminder system that tells you when you need to have the tyres rotated, for example. Of course, the usual stuff is here too, such as Bluetooth connectivity, but there's also the ability to hook up with Starlink to your smartphone, although curiously there's no DAB digital radio. As standard, the Outback is equipped with a pretty decent navigation system too, with full UK postcodes, traffic information and the ability to calculate the most efficient route as well as the usual quickest, fastest and shortest, etc. Plus there's a reversing camera that gives a good view of the rear bumper, making it easy to hitch up a trailer. Rear seat passengers were better off than in the old model, as there's now substantially more shoulder, elbow and hip room, plus more leg room and foot space too. And of course there's still the facility to recline the seatbacks for longer journeys. As if that wasn't enough, there's now 33 litres more boot space at 559 litres, with a new 47 litre underfloor compartment where, incidentally, there's still space to store the load cover when not in use, and the seats fold easily thanks to a pair of levers in the boot walls to convert the boot into an area with a flatter floor than before, now measuring a massive 1,848 litres. Oh, and there's a new power tailgate too, and it includes a handy memory feature that stops you clouting a low ceiling. Under the bonnet, there's a choice of two engines, starting with the familiar 2-litre boxer diesel with 150 PS and 350 Nm of torque, plus a 2.5-litre petrol unit with 175 PS. Subaru says they've been substantially reworked, with both delivering more torque lower in the range as well as greater efficiency. The petrol engine is only available with Subaru's Lineartronic CVT transmission, while the diesel is also available with a 6-speed manual. On the road, the diesel is much quieter than before thanks to more sound deadening in the engine bay, and once you're on the move, it settles down to a distant rumble that, at times, is actually barely audible. Now, while we're not fans of CVT transmissions in general, when hooked up to the diesel engine, Subaru's Lineartronic does at least resist the urge to peg itself at the red line when you put your foot down, and unlike other CVT units, its overtaking ability is actually pretty credible. There is a manual mode that allows you to use the steering wheel mounted paddles to switch between 7 fake preset ratios, but to be honest, the Outback prefers to just take things easy, and that means it's best to leave it all in auto mode. That's not to say the Outback can't be hustled along, because it can. In fact, you wouldn't think a car with 200mm of ground clearance could handle so well, but Subaru have made substantial changes to the suspension aimed at improving turning and reducing body roll, and I have to say we're impressed with the results. It helps that they've also implemented an active torque vectoring function, and that applies the brakes to the inside wheels during cornering to help reduce understeer. Plus, of course, there's Subaru's trademark all-wheel drive system that maintains a 60-40 front-rear split on auto models and 50-50 on manual cars. The new suspension also features a number of changes to improve the ride, and this too impresses. The Outback makes the most of its long travel suspension to absorb the worst of the bumps with ease, and it's surprising just what you can drive over without having any impact on those in the cabin. Also new for this year is Subaru's EyeSight system, although it's only available on cars with linear-tronic transmission. It uses a pair of cameras mounted by the rearview mirror to detect other vehicles and obstacles up to 110 metres ahead, and it can take control of the throttle and brakes to help avoid a collision, but the system also adds functions such as adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and a few others. The cruise control is pretty effective, with the system applying the brakes or accelerating to match the speed of the car in front. We did find the lane departure system to be a little paranoid though, often sounding a warning about crossing a white line, even when we were indicating. And although you can turn it off, it switches back on again when you restart the car. Prices for the new Outback start at £27,995, with all models getting LED headlights, heated seats and sat-nav as standard. Premium models gain a sunroof, keyless entry, 18-inch wheels, power tailgate and leather seats for £3,000 more. Pick of the bunch for us would be the entry-level diesel model. It's a great engine, we prefer the manual transmission to the linear-tronic, and the Outback is so well equipped the top-spec premium model doesn't really seem necessary. Plus, of course, if you want practical go-anywhere capability, but don't want a full-size SUV, let's not forget the Subaru Outback is the original crossover.